Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your monthly forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Great to see everybody. A reminder that this reading can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. As always, let's begin with channeled messages. All of these come through in dreams and in meditation. So the first thing was water. Water everywhere. I saw something that started off as a stream and slowly grew into what looked like a river. And water, of course, is symbolic of emotions, but also just the flow of prosperity coming into your life. So we see breakthrough energy. But whenever there is change, especially of the capacity that I was seeing in dreams, it can also lead to that feeling of being overwhelmed or even just thinking, how do I stay on top of all of this? So I'm just normalizing that if you're starting to feel things pick up a little bit, it's okay. There is a lot of creative energy, a lot of ideas coming through, and grounding yourself is important. Look at what the star is doing in this card. She's evening out the water. And I saw, again, water everywhere. And I thought, what's one of the most elevated energies we can connect it to? And it is the star. So take time to breathe, meditate. You may also have to move things around a little bit. That's what the representation is with those two chalices as she's emptying them or letting it kind of move through her. And I think that could be the biggest sort of tool in at your disposal this month, is just finding a way to stay cool in the calm of whatever storm or energy or movement is happening around you, okay? But it is star power that I was picking up on, and it is movement for the best. Let's look at some other things here. Foundations. Of course, when I see a literal symbol like a house, it can just represent the structure that's most important to you, what feels like home. It could be a relationship, it could be the house itself, it could be something that you're building. The guides were pointing out structural areas that could be improved or firmed up. Because I was still in the scene of all of this water, they wanted to sort of like make sure that if there were any cracks in the wall, those were filled. If there were any plumbing issues or any drainage issues, all of those things would be dealt with. For those of you that live in climates where there is a decent amount of water or moisture, or you haven't fixed plumbing in a while and you know that's something that's on the to-do list, this is just a nudge from spirit. We're way ahead of things happening, but that vision did come through. For everyone else, it's just saying prepare for the 10 of Pentacles. You want to make sure that everything in your life that would constitute a foundation, this is how you're taking care of your health, your body. It's also the relationships that matter most. It's your literal finances, which is what the 10 of Pentacles represent. All the things that you really just want to have sort of very much together. This message is saying get that in order so that when a new job comes through, when a new partnership or opportunity comes knocking, or when you're ready to start something new, you don't have to worry about kind of cleaning up house. And that's really what this was about as well, okay? Figuratively speaking, if there's anything in your life that is not sorted out, now's the time to get it sorted. Then I was able to fly, and I was even lifting up someone else who felt like they didn't know what was going on. I said, look at what I can do. And it wasn't like superhero type stuff. I just basically elevated up. There was no wings or anything like that. I just felt my energy going up, and then I could see everything. I could see the source of the water. I could see the house. I could see everything around it. And because I had that bird's eye view, I had a sense of calm. I saw how all of the puzzle pieces fit together. You may have to do something in your life to get perspective. A vacation, talking to a mentor, doing some research, just taking a few days away from something to think to yourself, how do I feel about this person, this opportunity, this relationship, this offer, especially if there is an offer on the table. Get your perspective, and once you get your perspective, you're going to be able to get into that energetic flow that I was able to see just a few slides earlier, and again, a few dreams earlier when I was picking up on all of this. I featured two cards here that are fast moving. The 8 of Wands is when everything is going really, really well. It's productivity. For business, it can represent a lot of customers. In life, it just means that your dance card is full, your schedule is full, but in the best possible way. Knight of Swords is basically keeping up with that pace. It's one of the fastest moving cards. And it would be one that I would connect with flight because he's almost in flight on that horse. So if you can get your perspective and start to understand how things connect, you'll be able to keep up with the pace, and it could be a really productive month for you. The last dream that I had 2 or 3 vignettes, a bunch of things that were kind of overlapped. The main theme in this was like a final act. So I saw a culmination of things, a test, which felt like finals. Also like moving day or last day at work, I saw things packed up, and it felt like sometimes these things were being overlapped. So for some of you, you may have a symbolic test, something that you've been preparing for a long time, and just for fun, the universe is sprinkling on a couple of extra things. You may have to navigate some traveling, there could be a new relationship, there could be something that's making the test seem bigger than it is. Do everything that you can to prepare it. It felt important to have that preparation. But know this, there's only so much prep work you can do. At some point, you know that it's enough and you just have to put it to practice. Take a step and trust in your ability to basically take all of those skills, all of that practice, and just make it work. And that's what we're here to do today as well. I'm going to shuffle the cards, and we're going to see how you can prepare for whatever test might be in front of you, how you can rise above and be the best version of yourself. All right, Gemini, just a quick reminder, this can be used for your sun, rising, and moon sign. Let's give the cards a shuffle and see what this month has in store. Love that we got the Lovers and the World, rather. I mentioned that there could be a new relationship with that change, and I didn't talk much about the World card, but we're going to have a chance to talk about it since it came through here. Love synchronicities. Got the Ten of Pentacles, also nice synchronicity. Wheel of Fortune. It's a good month, folks. I feel like you've got this. There's a little bit of a delay at one point, but everything starts to pick up. So, okay, let me be quiet and I'll pull the rest of the cards and then we'll talk about what I'm seeing here. All right, let's see. I'm loving it even more as I'm seeing all of these beautiful expanded cards here, especially with that manifestation one and this ship that was showing movement. This is a great set of cards here, good energy. Let's get started with your catalyst. You really couldn't ask for better energy to come through in the catalyst. Again, the catalyst helps you make action and movement or change in your life. One of the areas here where we're going to see improvement or growth is the heart. And look at all that green, lush energy coming forth. When you feel loved, when you are able to love, when there's joy, happiness, and passion, also productivity might follow. People want to be around the energy of people that are happy. So please do something this month that promotes and nurtures and creates joy and love. Because folks, it did show up in the cards here. If we take a look, we see happiness, which is the Nine of Cups here, but we also see the Lovers and the Six of Cups, and it could be something big, and it could be something that lasts, the Ten of Pentacles. It could be something serious. So please open your heart to the possibilities. We'll break down each and every one of these cards, but right now, creativity, passion, all the water that I saw, we see where it's coming from. It's coming from the heart space. Let's get started with your centermost card, the Seven of Wands. This card typically comes through on the heels of success. The card right before it is the Six of Wands, and in that one we see a horse, people applauding or following, or really getting behind the energy of that person that is successful. And what happens sometimes is people want a little bit more of your time, more of your attention, more of your skills. And so we can see her pushing back on anything that is causing her to feel overwhelmed or is unrealistic. This is a card where you can manage everything, but there's an opportunity to work smarter. So definitely discernment is key in this moment in time. One thing that we want to try to avoid is getting frazzled, because people just saw you potentially at your best, or you have the opportunity to show up in a really good way. So if something's a little bit too much, just raise your hand and say, hey, I think that we need to focus more on this, or this seems like it might cause a delay or cause some exhaustion. Just say what you need to say, push back, and stay calm. Don't get defensive. But you do have the ability to delegate, to work smarter, and to ask for more assistance if you need it, okay? And those are the main takeaways from this card. This is also basically showing the strength that you have to defend yourself if you need to. So if something didn't go right, use your voice, fight. This is a great card for court cases, for even just sort of like, the best word that I'm trying to think of here is a negotiation, like a conflict or a negotiation. It gives you the upper hand. You just have to keep the neutrality that we were talking about, so that people are more apt to listen to you. All right, crossing this card is the Nine of Cups, and this is a joyous energy. So like I said, this attracts this, and it also creates the necessity to have to sometimes push back a little bit. Take some time to have some fun. If you are overdue for a vacation, take one. If you haven't had dinner with your spouse, your friend, or with a group that you like and you're feeling like doing that right now, please do something that connects you to the feeling of joy and happiness. This card is saying you'll be so happy that you did, and everything in moderation. So that's the other thing with this. Just don't overdo it, but don't deny yourself joy. That's the big takeaway on that. There could also be some moments this month, and we see them right here, the lovers in the world, because this is also you. There could be extreme moments of success and attention, and that also kind of puts pressure on you to do more and meet up to all of these expectations. So just remind yourself that you're one person. You can only do so many things, and you, as long as, again, you're putting your best foot forward, I feel like that's all the universe can ask of you, okay? You've done the homework, Gemini. We were talking about this earlier. Some of you might have just felt a little bit uncertain. Can I do it? Yes, you can do it. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here. She set her eyes on something, set her sights on something, and now it's going to happen. We have the speed and the movement represented by the bunny. We also have fertility there. If you're trying to start something in your life, this is the time. By the way, if you're trying to start a family, this is a sign of fertility. If you're not, be mindful of that. But generally speaking, we love the Queen of Pentacles to come through, especially with this. It's all green energy. You'll see on Queen and King of Pentacles cards, you usually have all these vines or lush overgrowth. It's not just growth, it's more than enough. So set yourself up to start receiving more than enough. This is a period of wealth and abundance, not of lack, not of wanting, okay? And this is a card that said you did the work on yourself. If you're still finishing it up or whatever, good for you. Keep it up, whatever it is. Maybe taking a class, getting therapy, improving your health. There's so many different things that Queen of Pentacles might do for herself. This is just validating that, okay? This also does represent the house and the home, as does the Ten of Pentacles. Together, these two cards represent the importance of really enjoying where you're spending your time. And this includes work, relationships, and just general sort of activities. If you're not feeling it, in the heart space, these cards are saying keep it real. It might be time to think about pushing back on things that are unnecessary, unsatisfactory, or just a little bit overwhelming. Let's move on to the recent past here. We have a throat chakra opening here with the King of Swords. A reverse King of Swords errs on the side of just being direct. Sometimes saying less is better. Sometimes just getting to the point. A simple no is more powerful than trying to drop a hint, right? It's also really good to let someone know where they stand. If you appreciate them or you love them, say it. It's so much better than trying to, again, paint this big landscape of words. It can get in the way. King of Swords in reverse is very active, is very action-oriented. So, you walk the walk and talk the talk, and you don't mince any words. All of these are the best aspects of the King of Swords in reverse. In the upright, we don't have to worry so much about the next thing, which is timing. A King of Swords in reverse can be a little hasty or may not read the room, whereas an upright King of Swords normally has it under control. So make sure that you do this simple task of just saying, first of all, is it a good time to talk? Always good to ask that. how are you doing today? See if your audience is engaged, see if they're feeling all right. And then also, let's assume there might have been some sort of a breakdown in communication. You could just ask to understand how they arrived at their decision. All of these things will help you navigate and prepare for what it is that you need to say and how you should say it, rather than just jumping in and spilling things out. And with all the water, sometimes that happens. That's what I saw. So we need to kind of take a few steps back, take a few deep breaths, do our best to, open up that channel of communication. And if you do that, I feel like you're set up for success. All right. Now, there is some delay that will happen over the course of the month here with the Hanged Man, but it doesn't feel like it's a long-term one, especially since I saw Six of Cups and Ace of Wands in the near future. A necessary pause. So if you have to take a moment, make the most of it. Maybe there's a chance to write another draft of something, for instance, if you're doing a creative project. Maybe there's time to catch up on sleep. Study more if it's a test. Like back in school when we had a snow day, you could go out and play all day, or you could play half of the day, and then you could say, all right, well, maybe I'll try to spend a little bit more time on this because I have an extra day before the test, before I have to turn something in. So give yourself time for a little rest and a little prep, and enjoy that time. And then after that, just realize everything's happening for a larger purpose. There's a cosmic design here that's really at play. We see the beautiful halo or nimbus around the head of this hanged one or hanged man. And that's basically an indication that by pausing and reviewing and reflecting on something from a different perspective, you gain insight, you gain knowledge, you can save yourself time down the road. So before you, like I was saying, before you're speaking, before you push send on something, before you pick up the phone, really think, am I ready? Is it worth it? Is the person ready? And then when you're finally ready to deliver something, do it, but not a moment before. This is really about thinking before acting or thinking before speaking. I think it's helping the King of Swords stay out of trouble, because that Nine of Cups, all the emotion, and the Six of Cups wants to filter through the throat chakra. So we need to make sure that there's a little bit of pausing first. Six of Cups, one of the best cards for friendship, love, camaraderie. The card was reversed, but let's just talk about the Six of Cups first and foremost. When it comes to incoming relationships, this is really positive. It's someone with whom you just have almost an instant connection, a lot of affinity, the ability just to really have fun. The reversal of this could be someone that you, like, I feel like love, friendship, or opportunity is knocking earlier than you thought. You might be a little bit unprepared, or your resources might be stressed or strained a little bit. You just don't have the time. So this kind of energy doesn't come along all the time, especially because we also got the Lovers. So if you feel that connection, I would make some time for this, okay? Some of you may also be working parent, a mother or father, and you have children that you want to spend a little bit more time with, and you're feeling that tug at the heartstrings with possibly balancing work and home life. There could also be children that are graduating, and there's that empty nest syndrome, and you're wishing that you could fill the house up again. This is then an invitation for you to find other things in your life that constitute joy, to allow the children to, take that next step, to keep an open door. But this is about finding more in your life. There's always more to love, and that's really what this is about. If you are really clear on what it is that you want, and this Six of Cups is like a wish fulfillment as well, like your biggest wish coming true, it may take time. So these two cards work together. It takes time to manifest this, and if you don't see it immediately, it doesn't mean that it won't come. It just means it's not here yet. Hold space and keep the faith for the Six of Cups. It's happening, but just in divine time, okay? And I think that's everything that I need to say with that. We'll talk on that more now once we kind of like look at these two cards, which are so beautiful. So the presenting energy is Lovers. The possibility underneath it is the World. And again, these are like two of the best cards in the major arcana. Let's look at them upright a little bit here first. So the Lovers. Whether or not you're looking for love, you always want to pull a card like this because, sorry about that, it represents the ability to first of all, it's a magnet. It can bring in things that you love, opportunities that you love. It also is a reflection, like energy attracts like energy. So it's a reflection of how people view you. There's a lot to love. Why is it reversed, you might ask? Do you see that? Do you sometimes struggle with validation when someone says, great work, or you look amazing, or they come forward and they're interested? This is about the inner saboteur that needs to take a hike so that you can embrace the opportunities that are knocking. Whatever this is, it has the capacity to be something that really goes the distance, literally, here with the world. The world card is expansion. It's an opportunity beyond your wildest expectation or dream. In business, these two cards together are so good because this is basically good word of mouth, people being attracted to whatever it is that you're putting out there. And this is distribution, expansion, and the ability to reach a lot of people. And whatever it is that you're putting out there, people love it. So it's just such a nice combination. In relationships, something can go the distance. So if you're looking for love this month, you know I don't focus on it, but I don't hide from it. Yes, it's a great time to find love. Your partner may be from a different part of the world or have a very different background than you, and it feels like they may come into your world and turn it upside down. This is falling head over heels. So I like it. I mean, I think that it could be a little discombobulating, a little bit to process, but what's most important here when we look in the environment, they seem level-headed. This is what you're pulling in. 10 of Pentacles is really good for a relationship. That's someone that wants to get married or someone that is serious. In a job, it's someone that can show up and give you what you need. So, you can get a good offer on the table. It represents contracts, marriage, love, money, and it's good. So I feel like there are some great opportunities on the horizon. You're calling it in. So you've already emanated big power here with the World card and the Lovers card, and it's coming up and it's showing you like, hey, this is what we think of you, and it's one of the best cards in the suit of Pentacles. Not to be outdone, it actually is outdone by the Wheel of Fortune here in the Hope, Spheres, and Opportunities. This is saying there's even more that can come through. So one thing that I don't think I've ever had to do a reading like this for you, not recently. It's just about limits in your own mind. That's the only thing that can really hold you back right now. Or accepting something that doesn't feel right, because Six of Cups reverse and Lovers reverse are about discernment. So don't settle for something that's less than the best, because it really does feel like that's on the horizon. There's a lot of energy around work and money, personal development. I mean, these are great cards. Queen of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. 3 big money cards. The only thing missing is maybe the King of Pentacles, but you got it. You got almost everything that I would be looking for success. So this is a big month for resource advancement, personal development, advancement at work, love and relationship growth across the board. Like in big billboard letters, this is a month for growth for you, okay? One more quick note before we get on to the environment, and that is that the World and the Wheel of Fortune are very compatible cards and very similar energies. Expansion and movement, and this is also expansion and movement. This can also be like 4 seasons, just like this. So this could be like a 2-year change of energy and trajectory towards something more fruitful and positive. And again, just to kind of go back to what we talked about at the very beginning, there's that energy of the new horizon, which again, we ended up getting the World card, like I kind of figured there. But on top of that, I said that there might be a few overlays, a couple of things that could be adding to this. Someone could be putting something new in your lap and saying, hey, we also want you for this, if it's work. Or again, it could be love. There could be whatever opportunity it is that's in front of you. You thought like, well, this was everything, and now this too. So you get to weigh it out. This Ace of Wands reminds you, you can't fake it. And there is such a thing as maybe one too many things. So if you're feeling like you want to do this, then you might need to let go of something else. If you don't feel the passion, don't fake it. You can't fake it with the Ace of Wands. So this is the most important thing that we're talking about in relationships, jobs, and any opportunity in front of you. There has to be that feeling of wanting it. And as long as you want it and you feel inspired by it, good. If not, wait until you find that opportunity. Ace of Wands in reverse is vitality as well. So let's assume everything is good. You get some other stuff on the plate. You're excited about that. It could just be exhaustion. So taking a break, having some fun, doing something just because. This will help you recalibrate. This will help you get the momentum that's necessary to really take advantage of everything that this month wants to present. All right, let's expand this. We're going to go a little deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with the energy of health, which is combining mind, body, and spirit. And as we take a look at health, we have the wise one. Grow within your current situation. This is basically finding the silver lining. I mean, the good news for many of you is that it's a good month, but there just may be a lot going on, and it's about being appreciative. Sometimes things are like crickets and you're not feeling it, and then sometimes it's that wheel that keeps on turning and there's so much that's going on and you're like, how do I keep up? Whatever end of the spectrum that you're on, then this card is just saying enjoy that or embrace it or try to see the blessing there. You may also be seeking out a new mentor, teacher, doctor, etc., because this would be an advisor. You might have outgrown someone. Maybe you don't agree with the methodology of someone that you are going to. When it comes to health, always ask, and never feel like you're beholden to someone's decision if it doesn't feel right in your bones. Needs to feel right. And if you don't feel good about something, get out of that, chair at the doctor's office and go somewhere else where you do. And that's the final takeaway with that one. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper and take a look at all the different health messages that are coming forth. Patience. I mean, it's an emotional thing, but definitely patience comes through with the hanged man or the hanged one here. Also sensitivity around the ankle area. In particular, for those of you that have had sprained ankles or might have just experienced some sort of a surgery around the foot or leg, I'm picking up on increased sensitivity there. Throat activation. You could have seasonal allergies, scratchy throat, whatever's going on there. Obviously get it checked out if that is something that is going on here. Seven of Wands basically is a reminder not to take on too much. When it comes to working out as well, it's saying, don't try to be He-Man or She-Ra. Just know your body's limits and listen to it, because you could end up pulling a muscle or spraining an ankle or something like that. Eating, drinking, exercising, working, everything in moderation since we have so much progress here. But the Nine of Cups is one that tips the scales sometimes by going a little bit overboard. Know your limits, don't overdo it. Most of these cards are very good. I think it is just exhaustion and management of time and energy and trying to figure out and to be discerning on all the opportunities that are knocking. And again, the heart chakra is emotional in nature, and the first dream in the first slide had to do so much with the flow of many things coming into your life. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, get the support that you need, and it may not be the person that you've always gone to. It feels like this is a good time to seek out new opinions, second opinions, new mentors, new teachers. Some of you might also be recently pregnant. For those that are trying to start a family, this is the card of pregnancy, especially when combined with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Wands. So things are moving in the right direction there if you're trying to start a family. And by the way, if you are doing IVF or something like that, there's a possibility for twins. Six of Cups is a twin card, so I'll just put that out there too. Let's go ahead now and move from health to wealth. We had so many good cards already. But now we're going to get some information on how, why, and when. So the ship, some of you are moving. The way that you're going to find some of these great opportunities involve travel. So I'll break it down, including those that are, not working or retired. But no matter how you slice it, this is like the Six of Swords. There could be a travel opportunity that opens up your horizons. You could meet someone from a different part of the world that connects with you and connects you to something bigger. You could just feel like you want to distribute to a larger audience. So the ship card is just showing that expansion energy and also the moving energy and traveling. So this is a time where those of you that are still working, you might be just on the road a lot, or there's a lot of back and forth energy. So since we're already touching on it, let's just get into it. We're going to break it down into those that are working, seeking work, or either retired or a student. So for those that are working, The interesting thing is the month starts off with this feeling like, have I plateaued? Some of you get a surprise and people come through with an offer or an opportunity. But if you're just feeling bored and want to do more, this is the month to speak up. Networking and, basically reaching out to others and saying what you want, it's really received well. I can't always say that, but this month it's definitely worth the energy, and you just have to trust yourself. And I like what I see across the board here. There is an opportunity for growth, but it might involve moving. It may also just involve moving out of your comfort zone. There's more visibility. There's some, if I have to really search for some of the challenges, that's what I'm seeing. And maybe some of you are being asked to step into management. You've definitely got the potential for that because 6 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the lovers in the world, that's a lot of attention and a lot to sort of manage. So the only thing that I can see is either fear of asking for what you want or getting what you want and it was more than you thought. Either way, you're probably going to be okay in the long run. It's just a matter of patience and time. But let's say you do go to whoever's the decision maker and they don't give you what you want. Go elsewhere, you'll find it. And it's worth that leap of faith. So I see growth. It's worth trying where you're at because I see a lot of love and a lot of appreciation for who you are. So this is a month where you can possibly negotiate career advancement. If not, find a new job, okay? I'll talk more about that for job seeking in a moment, but you can do either. Just make sure you've got it before you leave the one that you have. The only thing to be mindful of in current sort of employment situations is, again, timing and communication, because the King of Swords can be hasty when reversed, but other than that, I feel like it's all right. At a company party, it could also be spilling the tea, saying something that you shouldn't say, and word gets around. So with all these cards, that's the thread that I'm picking up on. Just be mindful of, privacy, non-disclosure agreements, and things of that nature. But your passion, your dedication, your hard work, it's actually paying off. And if you don't get what you want now, you absolutely should look elsewhere because you're going to find it in a short matter of time here, okay? It's a good month when I'm looking at employment and money. Let's shift now to those that are looking for work. This is saying just pause and get strategic for a moment. Sharpen your pen or pencil, well, it'll be your pencil. Sharpen your pencil and do any editing that you need to on your resume or, on your website. Get that where it needs to be because there's going to be a lot of eyes on this. You don't have room to make a mistake with these. So get an editor, get a second set of eyes and ears on something to make sure that it looks good. But I love what I see if you're job seeking. It feels like your interview skills are really well received and you've been doing the work here. And I mean, this is the potential to get employed, okay? If I had to, again, pull something that could be challenging on this, it might be the amount of travel needed, the amount of sort of like management skills that you might need to put forth. So there is money, but there are expectations behind that. So you just have to make sure that you're ready and willing to step up to the plate. But if you are, I'm excited and I can't wait to kind of hear how this pans out for many of you. You probably already know someone who knows someone that could get your resume to the next level. By the way, this applies to both those that are employed and job seeking. Word of mouth is powerful here. I mean, this is community. 6 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, lovers. This is like one-on-one. This is a small group. This is a big group. This is the world. I mean, but your networking is everything this month, whether employed or trying to find work. And it pays off in a big way. Okay? It's a good month. And also, you might actually get a couple of offers. Or the other thing here that I'm seeing is that it's so important to like the group of people. And what's the best word here? The company culture and just the feeling. Because we talked about the heart. You have to feel like you're at home wherever it is that you end up spending your time. Moving on to those that are retired. And then we'll look at students. For the retired folks out there, you've done a good job. Many of you, most of you, with the 10 of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. even if you are retired, there's a chance to volunteer or even basically do some moonlighting and consulting work, and it could be very lucrative. Don't sell yourself short. Give your time away. You've got to get paid for that, because this is good stuff that we see coming through here. There's also a chance for those of you that want to be philanthropic to do that, for sure. A lot of energy around meeting new people. So whether that's giving back to the youth, meeting people that you just love, people from the past that you're reconnecting with, this is a time for developing your skills, developing your finances. Even if you're retired, you've made some good investments. Some of you might actually be buying or selling a home. And then again, all of this energy around people. And yes, travel, of course, travel. Students, you're okay. You're actually okay here. We'll talk about my dream again, but maybe just one too many things on your plate. I feel like for many of you, this is just saying, is it adding to the experience, or is it just something that you're doing because you think you have to do it? If there's something that is just a little overwhelming, step back. It's important to not feel that sense of being overwhelmed. Over socializing might be the only challenge here. One too many parties. Step back from that a little bit. I do see achievement. I do see that you'll be all right. The dream that I had was all around preparation. If you do your homework, if you prepare for the test or whatever, I felt like it would be fine. But definitely prepare, because when I looked at the test, there was that, I've had this dream as an adult too, sometimes, like not going to class and having to take a test. It's just an anxiety dream. And that's why I'm looking at it more as anxiety. That doesn't really happen in real life. So just know that you've done everything that you can. Don't get in your headspace. Don't psych yourself out of succeeding, because everything here is about success. And I think that's the last message there. Let's go ahead now and move on to love. And we have a beautiful card coming through in love. It's manifestation. The reversal of this also connects with this. It's saying, take your time. Don't rush. When you manifest, you have to believe that your prayer and intention has been heard. And you're basically just waiting to meet the synchronicity. And whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it's heal an existing relationship, find a new one, create a business partnership, whatever this relationship is, your prayer has been heard. Stay picky, stay aware, stay discerning. Let's break this down. We'll look at those in love, looking for love, or single and happy. If you're in love this month, the cards are pretty darn good, I have to say. Things could go to the next level. Let's say you're not married, you're just in a long-term relationship. This is someone that takes you by surprise. You're head over heels, and then the world kind of comes through and changes here, because someone could be offering their hand in marriage. Or saying, move in with me. Or let's take a trip together and get to know each other better. There's something here about deepening and enriching an existing relationship. The cards are overwhelmingly positive when it comes to relationships. What are some of the challenges, though? For some of you, if you just did expand the family, whether it's a new child or a new pet, maybe again, some of you have two. It's just a lot. That's a lot of time and energy. And so the big thing here is navigating that and not nagging one another when it comes to sharing the responsibility. It feels like things will be all right, but I get a sense of exhaustion here. Let's see if we're lacking anything. We have swords, we have cups, we have pentacles, we have pretty much all the elements here, and wands. The thing with wands, though, this wand is reversed. It's not just vitality, it's also passion. So if passion is lacking or the spark has fizzled, it's important to get back into the energy of these cards, which are friendship, camaraderie, love, and also romance. And you can't fake it. Remember what I said earlier. If the other partner isn't giving what you're giving, that's a bigger conversation to be had. But I really do think this month it's more about speaking up and saying, I miss you, or I need this, or whatever it is that you want, and saying, let's slow down and let's be more present and let's have some fun and remember what it was that connected us in the first place. So making that time, having a date night, things of that nature, that's really going to be powerful and reinforcing the bonds of the relationship, okay? Let's go ahead now and move on to those that are seeking love this month. I think it's a great time to look for love, particularly because of what we got here. People can already see that energy. You're emanating it. The big thing here is for you to see what others see and not to second guess yourself. And know that this next love could be bigger, better, or more amazing than whatever it was from the past. Some of you have spent a lot of time maybe just being on your own or working on yourself. I don't feel like there's a lack of friends or connections, but there may have been a lack of love. This is a month where that can change. It is important to network and get out there. We're not talking about traditional networking. I'm saying like, yeah, go to a movie with a friend and have dinner, go to a friend's wedding, go to a party, go to a family gathering. These intersections of all these people that you love, that's where you might meet this person, because this is closest friends, this is colleagues and family, and the lovers is somewhere in the mix here. It could be at a party, or someone could say, oh, I should introduce you to this person, and say yes. It's a good time to meet people that want to connect you, or meet whoever it is that they want to connect you with. So I like all of that. There could also be an inconvenient wrinkle here for those of you that are looking for love, and it could come in a work atmosphere, which isn't always something that is, smiled upon, because it can cause complexities, particularly if there's any rank differences. But even if you're coworkers, if there's dating, you usually have to disclose it at some companies anyway. So be mindful of that, work through that, but it is love. So if you're looking for it, you can find it. Again, I get someone that isn't exactly, they may be connected to the people that you know, but the background is a little bit different, and it may be a different sort of package than you were expecting, but it is in alignment with the manifestation. It could be along the lines of all of this or greater. So the universe added on a couple of things that throw you for a second. It's a curveball, but it's the greater piece. So as long as it feels like it's everything you wanted plus a little bit more, go for it. There's also an air sign from the past that you may have some karma that you're dealing with. That could be one person that's coming through. But other than that air sign, I saw a lot of water in my dreams, obviously, so it could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But the main things that I'm seeing, someone that is from maybe a different background, different part of the world. There's a lot of money or a lot of energy around success and money with this person, which is not a bad thing. But just make sure that there is the spark. It's across all aspects of relationships. There should be that sense that there's passion. As long as the passion's there, that's great. Otherwise, be patient, okay? If I had to think about it, there are maybe 2 or 3 wrinkles here that could be difficult for those that are seeking love this month. There could be a close-knit friend group that is a little cliquish and makes it difficult for you to fit in. And because maybe that person that's in that friend group that you've just met values you both, their friends and you, that could create friction. But I feel like there's enough love that this will overcome that and the friends will come around. Don't change yourself to fit in there. The 2 of you are what matter most, and that person should go and talk to their friends if there's something going on there. But I get it. Some friends are protective. If they're possessive, that's not cool. It's a different conversation, but that's one thing. One or both of you could be really focused on work, school, and money at this moment in time, and it could be a little difficult. And finally, there could be a distance component. So, if I have to really look, these are the small little wrinkles that I see. Also, the other person maybe talks more, doesn't listen as much. Those sorts of things. Those are the only things that I see outside of, the spark is either there or it isn't. And even if everything looks good on paper, if you don't feel the mutual attraction or there's a lack of mental sort of commonality, so after the physical piece is done, if you can't have a conversation, something might be lacking there. But I have to pull at straws for this because most of the cards are pretty good. So I think it's a good month, but if any of those small things resonate, obviously pay attention to that, manage it. Most of them you can navigate except the spark. You feel it or you don't. I have to keep saying that. Finally, for those that are single and happy, it's a great month indeed. This is a time where you could put your time and energy into business, wealth, personal development, home improvement, all of the things that we see represented by Queen of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, and Wheel of Fortune. Good stuff. You could decide to travel a little bit more. You could also really expand all the different types of relationships in your lives, improving and I feel like this is the area that has the most area of opportunity. finding new friends, developing those friendships. Family seems pretty solid right now. You could really work on self-love, self-care, and travel. I mean, the sky's the limit if you're single and happy, because all that energy can be invested wherever you want. And because we have like the Midas touch this month here with the heart chakra, everything you touch has that green energy of love, growth, and development. So choosing, that's the challenge perhaps. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Destiny cards. There are two of them, which will hopefully help you. One is upright, one is reversed. Destiny is a trajectory. These cards will help you navigate it. The good news with the Swan card is whether it's upright or reversed, it kind of looks the same. The only difference here is the focus is on reflective energy, because this is the Swan's reflection when it's reversed. So some of you are in a period right now where there's a lot of nostalgia, looking back, thinking of what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, and that isn't always productive. Sometimes it can even be a little bit, overwhelming. So try to be as present as possible. First message. This is a card of intelligence and playful energy. Have some fun. It helps you not only be happier, but also learn more and be more productive. Dolphins are really smart and they have fun. So that's what I get here. Be present. A little reflection is good. Too much fixation on the past equals stress. And then please, please, please have a little bit of this Nine of Cups energy. You've earned it, you deserve it, and it's going to just make you better at everything this month, okay? Let's move on to sun, rising, and moon sign messages next. So let's see what's coming through, Gemini. Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. Okay, here's where we see a little bit of the healing, a little bit of the work to be done. First things first. Looking at the sun sign, we have the Six of Swords. And when I saw the ship earlier, and this was in the energy of wealth, this is nicely aligned. It almost looks identical, right? So for some of you, it's time to move on. Might be time to move on from a job or a situation in your life that has played itself out, okay? And this can also be a card of grieving a stage of your life, because this can represent a figurative death where we graduate, we retire, we get married, we get divorced, and in all of these different phases, a part of us is gone and a new part emerges. It's like a chrysalis, right? So you're in that butterfly stage, but you're in the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. So take it a day at a time, a step at a time, and know that you're moving in the right direction. That's the validation here. As long as you keep moving as well, this card shows that progress and a lot of what we saw in this spread today is yours to have, which is great. The other question that comes through as I look at this is really just Spirit asking you what you want so it can show up. And it's saying, do you want to be the one rowing the boat, or are you waiting for things to be done? And do you want to lead? Do you want to follow? So the sooner you can make that decision, also the sooner things start to materialize, because you are in this manifestation energy. We did get that. So let Spirit know, are you looking for someone to lead, or do you want to be that leader? Okay. Overall, I like what I see with that. Let's move on to from sun to rising. In rising, we have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse state. This is ideal for the Four of Pentacles because in the upright position, it's settling, right? I often refer to this as the devil you know. It's also a card that you keep holding on to something sometimes just because you're afraid of what the lack of that might be. So this basically can be interpreted as creating and holding space for your dreams, for your goals, for yourself. And know that that space not only can, but it will be fertile this month, because we have Queen of Pentacles coming in to occupy the space that was occupied by this prior. So releasing. It's also a stress relief card, or stress release card. So if you're feeling a lot of energy around anything, whether it's anxiety or anger or frustration or whatever's going on, and you can't find a way to get that out of your system, this card is saying seek out the mentorship for that. For some of you, this could be a new form of meditation or exercise, a new creative venture, new artistic venture, something that can help you channel it into a more productive way of being and thinking. And again, typically the energy is held where we don't want it to be. She's putting it right over the heart chakra. And in fact, you had the energy around the heart this month. So we want to make sure that the heart chakra is cleared and opened. Tightness in the throat, tightness in the shoulders, tightness around the heart, all of these things, it's kind of like you're just stressing up. So we want to kind of like release that and release anything that's creating that closure. It's antithetical to basically what we were looking at today, okay? So open up the heart however you can. Keep an open heart, keep an open mind. Moving on to moon sign messages, 3 of Swords. It's time to heal. And there may have been something that was disappointing for you. This monthly reading was so filled with opportunity that there is a consolation prize for this. And it's basically saying, give yourself as much time as you need to mourn, to process, and to release. But know that when you're done, the rainbow's there. It's bright. And there's some gold at the end of that rainbow. So it's totally worth the tears, the emotions, and oftentimes we forget that rejection is protection. It is the cosmic hand pushing us from something. It's like when we go ouch, when we hit something that's hot. It's so that we don't stay in an energy that isn't optimal. So there was something that wasn't good enough for you, wasn't the right fit. And the universe came forth, made it uncomfortable, but helped you find your potential as a result of that. Okay? If you have one more question, and I'm sure many of you do, now is the time to focus on that. Otherwise, it can be general advice, but go ahead and ask whatever question it is that you might have right now, and let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, one of the biggest challenges this month could be in elevating conversations. If you asked me a yes or no, this is a no. 5 of Swords is sometimes, it can be the inner saboteur coming through to try to convince us to do something that isn't right. It can be the desire to want to just say something because it'll make us feel better, but it's not really a productive conversation. It can also be trying to take the bait from someone who hasn't communicated adequately or fairly or honestly, and it feels like there's a better connection here. But let's just talk about the 5 of Swords. You don't want to engage with someone that is incapable of listening, unwilling to take responsibility, evasive, if they just kind of constantly don't take your call and things like that. Or when you do have a conversation, you feel like all of the oxygen was sucked out of the room. I'm sure we've all had connections with that. And again, this can also be just the inner saboteur coming through and saying you can't do it, you're not good enough, etc. All of these things we want to sweep away. It's not the energy to focus on. So the opposite of this would be you can do what you set your mind to. The 6 of Swords came through to tell you it's okay to move on away from whatever this might be. And you just want to walk the high road. Take the high road, lead by example, and move in a direction that feels right for you, getting back into the energy of the ship. It's time to move in a new direction. It's time for something new. That's really the answer to that question. I hope it helped kind of like clarify it for you. All right? And that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this. It was such a magical reading. I knew that when I started this morning and got all of these dreams, I was like, this is going to be an important one. But the cards were just fantastic. The best so far for the month of May. So there you go. If you like this, do me a favor, hit the like button. And if you've never subscribed, this is the time to do it. Let me know that you enjoy these videos. Leave a comment below as well. I read each and every one, and it helps me know what I need to focus on. You can also join me on social media just in case you don't get notifications here. I always put in the stories on, particularly on Instagram and Facebook, whenever I have new things posted, you'll be able to figure it out there. All my daily videos are across those platforms as well. Remember, I don't offer private readings. I just got rid of a profile on TikTok and Twitter. I look every day to just see if there's any imposters out there. It sometimes takes a week or two, but I get rid of them. Just remember, I don't offer private readings and I don't direct message people. So if you see that, leave a comment here. There's also a form on my website. Let me know and I'll do my best to get rid of that. If you want to show support, you can do it through an official channel right here. Become a member, give a super sticker, super chat, super thanks, or basically, like I said before, you can just show some free love in the form of commenting and liking. And that's everything, folks. Thank you for being present, for allowing me to be a part of this beautiful reading today. If you want to check out something else that I've done, you can also look at my podcast. It's on the main podcast tab on my channel. And that's everything for today. Have a great one. I'll see you soon.